The 2014 Kuchling Award goes to a man who is a wise leader and careful counselor and guide, a constant visionary and an accountable friend. Mike Anglin has been for decades one of the most respected and adored leaders of the Dallas LGBT community. Another one of our truly iconic leaders, Bruce Monroe, who could not be here tonight, said this when he heard that Mike was receiving the Kuchling Award. This man is the architect of every nonprofit GLBT organization in Dallas, from the Dallas Gay and Lesbian Alliance to the Resource Center to the Black Tie and many more. Much of the success we have achieved in Dallas and Texas has its roots in Mike Anglin's pen. Thank you, Mike. I know that you hate this attention, but please bask in the joy and the love that we have for you. People are alive because of you, and we celebrate the unprecedented freedoms that our youth today cannot begin to fathom. And now, here are some words from some others who know Mike so well.
There are so many people who have not heard of Mike Anglin, and it amazes me because when everybody's looking for the spotlight, when everybody's looking to be in front of the cameras or on the microphone, the person who's doing so much work behind the scenes and making sure that everything is done correctly and that we're on track on the mission and that we achieve the goal is the unassuming, hardworking, amazing Mike Anglin. And it's been that way in our community for 30 plus years.
People sitting here tonight can barely sort of get it, what it was like in 1970 and at 7, when we're going to these meetings, we were putting so much at risk that people didn't understand. And here's Mike encouraging me to put it at risk. And when Mike was on THRF, Texas Human Rights Foundation, so that's the organization that created the Baker versus Wade litigation, which was the first federal challenge to 2106. It was the predecessor to the Lawrence case. And Mike was one of the first people that they asked to join the statewide movement.
Mike Anglin has an extensive resume for all the things that he's done for our community. But what he really brings is such heart and kindness and a supportive attitude and intelligence and calm in the storm. Everybody gets so excited, but he's like, calm down. This is the way we need to move forward. This is how we're going to achieve our goals.
Mike prefers being behind the scenes, an unheralded, tireless worker for whatever he's involved with.
It's like that. This award, the Kuchling Award for Mike, it's so delayed. But because Mike being Mike, he was nominated before, but he wouldn't participate. He said he didn't want to do that. This is his humility. And so thank goodness we're finally here. He's finally getting this award. You look across the history, so many organizations. He brought in the Foundation for Human Understanding, which was the predecessor for the Resource Center. You've got Black Tie. We wouldn't be here tonight, but for Mike being one of the original organizers and then on the board for 9 years. You've got Mike being involved in Lambda Legal in the early days. You have Mike being involved in the Turtle Creek Corral. You have Mike being involved in Razzle Dazzle. Every sort of thing that's going on today that just like it's just happening started.
It's kind of like in every case, and Mike was there.
And Mike
was there behind the scenes, generally, working, collaborating, networking with other people to get the job done.
Mike Anglin is one of the founding members of the Dallas Way, and he tells the story of the Dallas Way and how men and women came together to have such a vibrant, activist, accomplished community that has achieved so much. And at the core of all of it were people like Mike Anglin. The youth of today may not ever know what went on to pave the way for them and the struggles of the people and the people that laid the groundwork for them. They may never know, but I'll tell you what, gay youth today have more attention, more rights, a better safety net because of Mike Anglin, and it's the gospel truth.
Mike, congratulations on this award. I am so pleased to have known you for over 35 years and learned from your experience and knowledge and the way that you've always offered your services to the community.
I'm so grateful that our paths converge. I am so grateful for the guidance you've offered me, the leadership you've brought to our community. You exemplify what this award is all about. You knew Ray, you were great friends with Ray. He would be so happy to know that you are being honored tonight.
Bravo, Mike Anglin. I am so proud of you. You are a prince among men, and you are a champion in our community. You deserve the Kuchling Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2014 Kuchling Humanitarian Award recipient and friend, Mike Anglin.
Well, first of all, I can't tell you how encouraging a thing like this is. When I presented this award to the great Bill Nelson at the Black Tie Dinner of 1986, he came to the stage, I handed him the plaque, he leaned into the microphone and said, "Thank you," and then humbly returned to his table. Well, as you probably know, since then it's become traditional for the recipient to say a few words before leaving the stage. So I was thinking, I don't know that I have any great words of wisdom to impart to anyone tonight. I mean, you already know that the importance of a good moisturizer cannot be overstated. But I did come across something not long ago that sort of rang true to me, and I thought I would share that with you tonight. This person said, "To live long enough to grow old allows one to live twice. Once in the golden moment of experience, and once in the quiet retrospection of history remembered." Well, I was lucky enough to be there in that golden moment of experience when we created the Black Tie Dinner one weekend evening in the spring of 1982. That was over 32 years ago. And now that those years have all slipped away, and don't they go by in a blink, and I'm standing here just barely able to still claim to be in my mid-60s, I guess I'm old enough to be struck by remembrance at these events now. Now, the Black Tie Dinner has never failed to move me emotionally over the years. I mean, I'm always moved by the many wonderful people who come every year that I get to see and visit and hug again. But moved also in these more recent years, when I see an empty chair here and there, it reminds me of our old friends who are no longer with us. Our old friends who would never know the simple gift of being allowed to grow older. Many of whom were true giants on whose strong shoulders you and I are still standing tonight, whether we realize it or not. Heroes who had every right to be here with us tonight, who are so greatly missed, and without whom I realize I would not be standing here now. So since it was not given to us to know what life would have been like had they too lived into older age, and I got to tell you, I often wonder what life would have been like if they had, it at least gives me great pleasure to accept this award in their names too, my forever young comrades in our great quest during the middle part of my life for the big issues, for the truth, for social justice, and for equality under the law. And if there is anything bigger than that, I don't know what it is. These were true civil rights activists whose only enemies were arrogance, ignorance, and dogma. These were activists that I had the good fortune to be associated with in those years, to fall under their inspiration, to be drawn into the wonderful energy of their absolute commitment to the health, safety, and welfare of this community, and of their hopeful vision of the possibility of a brighter future for us all. For the wonderful young people in this audience tonight, how I wish you could have known them. Bill Nelson, Terry Thibodeau, John Thomas, Ray Kuchling, Don Baker, Howie Dare, Don McClary, Robert Schwab, and Tom Stoddard. What a poetic story. United in those years by the excitement of a truly just cause, but also shattered by terrible personal loss. Often filled with vision and hope and courage, and sometimes cast down by uncertainty and the fear of a dreaded virus named HIV. Who would be next? We never knew. We had to learn to be tireless and fearless. We had to learn the difference between that which matters and that which only seems to matter, the hardest question in life. We had to learn that when life is driving you crazy, devote yourself to others. It will drive you sane. We had to learn to become caregivers for our friends and to bury our sorrows and then somehow pick up the pieces and move on. We had to learn to draw chalk outlines of fallen bodies on the pavement of a city plaza. And we had to learn how to wish each other well and to forgive. And we had to learn to never, never give up. And now that my generation is reaching its older age, we are still learning. But this time, we are learning to remember. And that's what the new organization, the Dallas Way, is all about, and why that is so important to me now. So, if those angels unaware are looking down on us tonight, Bill and Terry, John, Ray, Howie, Don, and all the rest, I would only want them to know that we do remember them and that we still feel the legacy of their hopes and strivings, despite it all, for happier days ahead. Happier days which, by the way, did eventually come. Better days that have come and that are yet to come. So what would I say to them tonight if only I could? Well, I'd probably look them in the face, and then I'd probably follow Bill's example and just say, thank you.